Hello, my name is Isaiah Edger, and I would like to ask for your help in keeping sexual education in our children's schools. When you think of sexual education in school, what comes into your head? Many immediately think of their daughters putting a condom on a banana, and then their fear of children having sex unnaturally. It frightens them. That fear is part of parenting and cannot be completely relieved. However, I would like to present some facts that will explain how the lesser evil is to educate our children with the good, the bad, and the ugly truth about sex, and possibly prevent them from being infected with an STD or impregnated at an early age. First, let's look at the history of sexual education. With the dawn of the AIDS epidemic in the early 80s came a desire to educate our children. By 1989, 23 states had passed mandates for sexual education. However, many groups organized in the 80s and 90s sharing a common ideal that premature sexual activity is immoral and shameful. Their scapegoat was sexual education classes, claiming that children's interest in sexual activity was being pricked through education when we should have been scaring our children away from sex. Along with these groups' success came less factual teaching of contraception and STD awareness. In 2009, Congress passed an appropriations bill that eliminated the funding for most abstinence-only until marriage programs. Then in 2010, Congress made $75 million available for evidence-based sexual education. The downside to this was that it also reestablished the abstinence-only until marriage programs, providing $50 million for them as well. While the pendulum currently swings away from abstinence-only until marriage programs, we must be certain to maintain gains in policy against this failed effort. Currently, every state in the U.S. is somehow involved in sexual education for public school children. 22 states require that their public schools to teach sexual education. 33 states require that students receive instruction about HIV and AIDS, while only 19 states have legislature requiring that sexual education programs must be medically, factually, or technically accurate. Why do we teach our children about sex anyway? Because without understanding the possible outcomes and effects of being sexually active, a young adult cannot make a proper decision. A 2014 CDC survey indicated that more than 47% of all high school students admit to having sex. Only about half of those who admitted they have had sex say they use protection. The same survey suggests that roughly 1 in 4 females will become pregnant at least once by their 20th birthday. And while young people ages 13 to 24 accounted for an estimated 26% of all new HIV infections within the U.S. in 2010, over 50% of the HIV infected with youth within the U.S. say they were not taught how they could be infected while in school. So is the fear that educating our children about how to practice safe sex and why greater than the fear that they will be unprepared and become pregnant or infected before ever knowing how to prevent either? Educating our children before they become sexually active is extremely important. Making these simple life lessons mandatory within each state's public school system has and will continue to lower the birth rate among teens. And in closing, I would like to say that I am sure our country's various religious beliefs do assist in shaping our parents' decisions in how and what we educate our children, but consider the possibility that your children's beliefs are not yet as grounded as your own, and they will go through many phases in life. Allow them the opportunity to be prepared for each of those phases and make fact-based sexual education mandatory in all of our public schools. Thank you.